Hey guys, how you going? Hope you're all doing very well. This evening I'm going to be doing another movie review, so hopefully you find this one interesting. This movie is a crime thriller from the United States, English language, released in the year 2016, directed by Gary Michael Schultz, and this film is called Vincent and Roxy. So Vincent and Roxy is about a man named Vincent. He's a very shady character. He's in the underworld and he's doing a job for his boss, who's giving him a lot of money. And on the job, he witnesses this woman being harassed by a thug. He saves the woman, and the woman is eternally grateful. So it turns out that the man named Vincent, the woman is Roxy, and Roxy says that she's in trouble, she's on the run. And so Vincent offers her refuge at his family farm, that's owned by his brother, who he hasn't seen since the death of his mother. So Vincent gets to the farm, he has to rekindle the relationship with his brother, and in the same time he's actually developing a romance with Roxy. And so as they all get to know each other, the romance really blossoms, and that family dynamic really is very strong, and it keeps them in peace, and it basically gives them hope for a better future. But unfortunately the past of Roxy is very close behind, and it's threatening to destroy everything that they're trying to build. So whether or not that is the case, something you're going to have to find out for yourself, because that's as far as I'm going with my synopsis. Now my thoughts on Vincent and Roxy. I didn't know what to expect with this film. I'd never heard anyone talk about it. I saw it on the DVD shelf here in store in Canberra, and I thought, why not give it a shot? It was very cheap. It was definitely not really a risk, but it was definitely a blind buy. So blind buys are often the most exciting, is because, is this going to be a gem or is this going to be a disaster? And after watching the film, I will say it's not a gem, but it's certainly not a disaster. It's definitely middle of the road, which is ultimately a problem with the film, is I didn't think it was as remarkable as I was hoping it would be. But I will say it was very competent. This is a movie about relationships. This is a movie about damaged people and trying to actually break free of your past and trying to make a better future. And so I thought for this film to work, it really needed strong performances from the acting and a very good script. Now I'm in the minority with this film. A lot of people say that this script is very mediocre and bland, but I couldn't disagree more. I thought this movie was very subtle and very realistic, and actually allowed these characters to start to develop into people that you like. And the age-old saying, don't judge a book by its cover. Don't judge someone based on what they've done in the past. Judge someone by how they are as a person. And so this movie is a clear indication of that. And for this to work, the script allows these characters to blossom, and for the characters to work, it really needed good performances. And I thought I thought that Emile Hirsch's performance as Vincent was fantastic. This is a guy that was very shady, but he genuinely wanted to make a better life, not only for himself, but also his brother, and also Roxy, his newfound love. And so he wasn't a selfish person, but at the start of the film, he's this despicable guy. He's working for this underworld boss, and so these are people that you don't want to be associated with, but the director allows you to get to know these characters. And when you get to know them, you see elements of these characters that you actually like. You see elements of these characters that are in your friends, that are in your brother or your sister or your family. These are characteristics that are very likable. And so I thought to myself, alright, well, these are the circumstances basically that have shaped this person. This is a person that was forced into a desperate situation, and this is the path he's chosen, but now he wants to choose a different path. And so Emile Hirsch's performance as Vincent was actually quite subtle, but I thought it was very riveting in how this guy was going to try and transform himself, and the level of selflessness that this character has was a very likable quality as well. And so Zoe Kravitz, who plays Roxy, I thought she was equally as interesting, and the chemistry between these two characters was fantastic. I thought, alright, well, love is blossoming, and love is actually creating better people in this circumstance. And now the love is actually being put onto the brother as well. The brother is trying to actually break free from basically the stuff up that he thinks he is, and he's trying to make a name for himself. They're going into a mechanic shop together, the brothers. And so I thought, alright, well, these are criminals who don't want to be in this world. These are criminals who are forced to go into the criminal world because of their circumstances, whether it's poverty or just the people that they're mixed up in. And so I thought, alright, well, it's giving you reasons as to why these are criminals. And so you've got this romance that blossoms, and I thought it really didn't get boring. It's because I thought the chemistry was there, the likability was there, and I really wanted each and every one of them to actually get that success in life that they were after. And so basically, can you actually outrun your past, or will your past catch up to you? And basically the fact that Roxy's demons are very close by, it creates that level of suspense. Are they going to live happily ever after, or are these demons going to catch up to these and basically rip everything apart? And so that's the question that creates all the suspense, all the curiosity, and prevents the movie from ever getting boring. This is all complemented very well by a very tight production as far as cinematography is concerned. It's a lower budget film, and it captures the underbelly and the dregs of society. These are people you don't want to know, and on the street you would turn a blind eye. But once again, if you get to know them, then all of a sudden it transforms from the dregs of society to people trying to redeem themselves. And so, basically, Gary Michael Schultz allows the viewer to get to know people that are have basically been rejected by society. And so I thought that was very good. It had a very similar atmosphere to the William Friedkin film Killer Joe. Is that you got despicable people, and but Killer Joe was definitely despicable people who don't really redeem themselves. But in this movie, they actually redeem themselves to a point where I thought, okay, well, they started off as despicable people, but now they're actually almost coming across as the heroes of the film. And so that was all very good. I thought the soundtrack was great. And it's capped off by an absolutely explosive ending. Now, this movie, it does promise a pressure cooker sort of explosion, and the explosion really hit me hard. For me, being a seasoned sort of extreme horror fan, I wasn't as shocked by the violence as more casual fans will be, but I was still surprised by how far this director actually pushed the audience as far as endurance is concerned. The ending is very barbaric, and I thought that was a very good sort of reward for actually going through these relationships, and the fact that you actually like these people makes the ending even more explosive. And so the movie is very, very brutal at the end, so be very careful of that, and I actually like the way that the movie finished itself off, and it was something to also think about. So it's a very violent film, but at the same time, you've got characters that you can really root for and relationships that I thought were very, very authentic. If I have a problem with the film is that I thought that although it is a very impressive film, it's not a movie that will actually grab you by the throat when you're browsing on the DVD shelf, when you're going shopping. It's not a movie that grabs you by the throat and says, buy me. This is a movie that you see late one night when you're about to go to bed, and you start watching it, and the movie will actually capture you and prevent you from ever going to bed until the end of the movie. And so if you actually come across it, yes, this is a movie that's going to really impress you, but it just doesn't have the power to actually go out there and grab someone and force them to watch it. This is a movie that you'll watch by accident, and so it just doesn't have that X factor to really make someone really excited and race out there and basically recommend to everyone that they see. It just doesn't have that sort of power, but it does have enough power to actually capture you once you actually get into it. So I would definitely recommend this film. It's not a remarkable film, it's not a brilliant film, but it's very competent, and it's one that I think a lot of people are actually going to end up liking. So overall, for Vincent and Roxy, going to give this one 3.5 stars. Go out there and see it. Alright guys, that's it for my review. Hope you enjoyed it. Till next time, keep watching movies, and I'll see you later. Bye.